It's disappointing. Obviously, first half we felt we were still in the game. We come out and they score within 2 minutes, which obviously isn't good enough from our point of view. We all know in the dressing room what kind of mistakes are happening, and we need to stop. We need to nullify where the mistakes are coming from. We need to stop the mistakes at source. But I just think we've been a team of either one half or first half or the second half this year, and you can't do that in this league, especially when the games come so thick and fast. But you have to say, sort of, we've had 2 games in 3 days. Not get too carried away with how the results are going, because it's still August, isn't it? So things can change. I think Tranmere showed that last year, but we just need to stay together. There's nothing going to change. On the outside, we have to do it within us, and I think we all know that. We're all big enough and old enough to sort of deal with that pressure that comes. But I just think second half I don't think we played too badly. I think we just costly goals again, and that's what hurts the most, the fact that we were in it for so long and then the goals are just soft, and that's what's been happening this year. Last year we sort of kept games like this at 0-0, and we would go in and that would be that. We wouldn't even think about the win, but because we've had a couple of defeats and on the bounce, I don't know whether a bit of eagerness to try and go and win the game, because we feel like we know we can. Any team that comes up against us, we know we can, but at the moment it's just not falling for us, and that's hard to take as well. But you know, this league's a long old league. Anything can happen and anything can change. We could be sitting talking in 3 games time going, there's 3 wins on the bounce, but at the minute we have to just stick together, regroup, get together with everyone in the dressing room and sort of say to each other, look, we're the only ones who can change it, and that's the mindset I think we all have to have. It's hurting at the minute because the losses are so quick after each other, and that's something you have to deal with in this league, and we'll have to reflect and we go again. You can't just sit and sulk about it. You have to analyse the game, look over the game, see where the mistakes are, and hopefully try and stop them at some point. The quicker we get a clean sheet, the better. We have to be hard to play against. We have to sort of regroup together and stick together, because once we start spreading out trying to score and teams start breaking on us, and sort of, I think they broke on us a couple of times today in the second half especially, and that's what we can't afford to happen. I know we want to win games and stuff, but it's hard to think, right, we have to win this one because we lost it. This league will chew you up and spit you out if you want to do that. You have to sort of go together, regroup, get back to the basics. That's really key. We have to go back to the basics, and I think that's one thing we did really well last year, and this year it's not so happened. We have to go back to the basics and make sure that first of all we don't concede, and if the goal comes then we have to leave it up to the forwards to do that. If you start moping around and feeling sorry for yourself, then nothing's going to change. So we're 6 games in. It'd be a bit different if we were 42, 43 in, and there's only a short amount of games to come, but there's still 40 games to come. So if you're going to sit and mope around, then it's going to keep coming and coming and coming. So we have to reflect, or we have to look at them. There's no doubt about it. I think we all have to look, take responsibility for mistakes, and just go back to the basics and see where we go from there. Certainly got a good enough group of players in there. We all have to pull our fingers out. That's including myself and everyone, even the subs. Some people get dropped, some people play, some people you have to just take it and sort of ride it out and make sure that the results don't happen like this. And you can't say that we're going to be down there scrapping, because teams that do that, then they're going to have the mindset of every game thinking, we're going to stay down here. But we can't afford to do that, because that's when the results start turning, and sometimes it gets a bit too late to get the dressing room together and feel like we're actually a team and going together. Where if we keep pushing, keep working hard and keep doing what we're doing, I'm sure that the results will turn and we can give our fans something to cheer about, because I don't think we have for good spells of the season, and they spend their hard-earned money to come and watch us, and at the minute we're sort of letting them down a little bit. But we have to make sure that we just keep going again, and the only way we're going to get them back sort of with us and stay with us is if we perform on the pitch. We can say as much as we want out here, but as soon as that 3 o'clock or 7:45 turns and we don't do it on the pitch, then that's when you're going to get criticised for. So we have to just regroup, go together, go and have a look at the mistakes, cut out the mistakes is the major point. But we have to sort of, the season's not dead and buried, so we just go and work hard again and make sure that we're positive for the next game, because we know on our day we can play a good game, we can nullify the mistakes, but it's first 6 games, still a new group of players, but we have to sort of get together and make sure we stop it. I think we've got every game's hard in this league, but the next 4 games that we've got coming up are all games that are tough, and that's what I say about this league. If you start moping around, them teams will walk all over you, and that's what we can't afford to happen. We have to stand up for ourselves and be big, strong men, and make sure that we stand counted for when we cross that line. And yeah, it's just a gutting feeling, one that I haven't had losing like this. So it's certainly something that you have to just keep your mind really positive, and I think we do in the dressing room, but we have to start making sure we're men now and take responsibility for what's going on the pitch. So that everyone in that dressing room knows their ability, knows how they can play, and that's something that it's hard to come by when you get some players that have a bad game and some of them might sulk, but I don't think we got any. I think everyone worked their socks off in the second half. It's not like we're not trying. It's not anything to do with that. We're running ourselves into the ground. I think just the basics, and we'll see what happens after that. Yeah, I think you have to sort of think about how fortunate we were last year to start with that many new players and for it to all gel. And I think that was to do with the basics. So we'll go back to the basics and see where we go from there.